Morning, Top Gun here, Thursday, March 25th, 2:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the YouTube pre-market commentary. All right, because we have a lot to cover today, I'm going to skip section 1, recapping Wednesday, just basic statistics on yesterday's action, and move on to section 2, tops are a process. Now, this section is based off of Paul Desmond's white paper for Lowry's, an exploration of the nature of bull market tops. This is one of the best pieces of technical analysis ever written. I've never seen it cited, but it should be because it's brilliant. Desmond goes back and analyzes the 15 market tops from 1929 through 2007, and he shows how different stocks peak at different times. And by the time the index, the leading index peaks, most individual stocks have already peaked prior to that. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. It's this understanding of the nature of bull market tops that's enabled me to be right on top of this and to profit from it on the long side and the short side. So I think the first event in the top process was actually September 2nd, 2020, when the QQQ hit a short-term top around, or an intermediate top around 300. And subsequently gave up leadership to the IWM. So the QQQ continued to go higher, but significantly less, as you can see in this chart, comparing the performance of the QQQ to the IWM from November 2nd, 2020 to March 15th, 2021, when the IWM appears to have topped out. It significantly outperformed the QQQ over that time period. Okay, now the next event in the topic process was on Friday, February 12th, when Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation ETF, the ARKK, as well as the QQQ topped out on, and this time the QQQ on an absolute basis. Okay, the following session, Tuesday, February 16th, the leading semiconductor ETF, SMH, appears to have topped out. Okay, the last prop holding up the bull market was small caps, the IWM, which I've called reopen value. That trade remained alive until it seems like it topped on Monday, March 15th now, and it's really gotten hit hard since then. So in other words, the topping process is playing out exactly the same way it has during the previous 15 bull market tops, reviewed by Desmond in an exploration of the nature of bull market tops. Highly recommend this white paper. Okay, so the S&P itself seems to has hit a recent high of on Wednesday, March 17th. It hasn't broken down technically, but I suspect that with everything breaking down, that's going to be the top for the S&P, and the bull market that began 12 years ago is formally over. Now I am jumping the gun a little bit because I think we need to see the March 8th correction lows undercut by the NASDAQ, the QQQ, the ARKK, and the SMH. And that hasn't quite happened yet. To me, the key one is the QQQ. And the level is 300 on the QQQ, which represents so many things. First of all, the QQQ has been the leading ETF of this bull market since 2009. 300 represents the September 2nd, 2020 intermediate high and the transition from leadership from the QQQ to the IWM. And it also represents the recent correction lows. So a break, and also the QQQ has the biggest stocks in the market. It makes up 25% of the market cap of the S&P 500. So if the QQQ is going to act as a headwind, it's going to be extremely hard, if not impossible, for the S&P to advance. And it also represents the recent correction lows. So I'm just watching QQQ 300 very, very closely. If that gets taken out, I think it's game over. See you mañana.